Hey guys, what's up? Poopuduku Videos here with another video. I am the Poopuduku, but you can call me Adam. And today, I'm going to look back at some games that I really enjoyed in my younger years, and I think you would too. And these are going to be on every PlayStation 2 recommendation list. I'm pretty sure the collection is going to be on every PlayStation 3 recommendation list. But I'm going to say right now, the PlayStation 3 greatest hits version of this, whatever it is, the remake, HD remake, I didn't like it too much. And it's weird to say that I didn't like that one, but I love the PlayStation 2 titles, and it's not like I'm a purist or anything. I love playing games in any form, especially if you can bring some new light to some old favorites. And in saying that, the Ratchet & Clank 3-pack, the HD remake, whatever it is, I love that, and I feel that's way superior to the PlayStation 2 titles. But today the titles we're going to talk about, to not leave you in the dark any longer, is the Jak series. Now, the reason why I feel that playing them in this format is superior because the controls for the HD remake on the PlayStation 3, it just felt real slidey, real glidey almost. I don't know what they did. I don't know if they went in to try to tweak some of the jumping, some of the collision detection when you're jumping on cliffs to grab and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they went in and tried to do something different with that, and it didn't translate well to me. I don't like it. But playing them in this format is great, and I was just playing them earlier today. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that HD remake. But as far as these go, these are amazing games. Amazing games. And it's like I said, it's not a secret. A lot of people know these are amazing. A lot of people are going to recommend these every time. But the reason why I want to make this video and the reason why I want to give my opinion on it is because I don't think a lot of people put these in the correct light that they should be in. To start off, a lot of people just say how phenomenal platformers they are. And they are. But in all honesty, the only one I would really consider a platformer out of all of them is the first one. The first one is a great traditional platformer. Open world. It's so much fun, and it really is. The whole bread and butter of this game is just phenomenal platforming, and the only way to put it into words that I think is truly descriptive and in a way that everyone can just understand, because I'm pretty sure everyone played these games, Crash Bandicoot games. Just phenomenal platforming, phenomenal. Imagine that, open world. But within the open world, there's so many different levels to it. So in the first one, it was all in the first Crash Bandicoot, in the second and the third, the first series, the first run on the original PlayStation. It was all just 3D, but it was platforming on a single level, single scale. Yeah, they had like the little Mario blocks where you can jump up and stuff like that, but you weren't traversing an actual jungle. You weren't jumping through trees and stuff like that. You were just going straight through on that narrow path. This one really opens up what I think Crash Bandicoot could have been, and in all honesty, this game as a base of a platformer is just so good. And I think that if they would have held on to the Crash Bandicoot license, and instead of having Jak and Daxter have Crash instead, I think this could have been the Crash game that everyone wants now. I think we could have had that already with this. And with saying that, I really feel as though this is a spiritual successor to Crash, because even though it's its own thing, it's its own IP, own ideas and everything, this really feels like what we wanted from Crash Bandicoot when we got our PlayStation 2s and we were finished playing the PlayStation 1 games. And that's why I really like this one, because on its own it's just amazing, but it gives me that experience everyone says they want now. Everyone says they want a new Crash game, and with the new HD remakes coming out of Part 1, 2, and 3, and him being in Skylanders and stuff, we're getting a little taste of what we would want. But this is really, anytime I feel like, oh man, I really wish they would have did this in Crash, I throw this in my PlayStation 2 and I just have a ball, because it really scratches that itch so well. Parts 2 and 3, I'm going to talk about together because they're they're very similar. This one has a lot more car action in it, and I love that. I love the car action in this game. I think the multiple vehicles you have, they're all so much fun to play as. They're unique. Like one can jump, and one's just really good at going fast and getting new places. One's like a tank and stuff like that. It's just so much fun to use the different vehicles in different ways, and finding the precursor orbs in the desert in different ways and stuff like that. It's just awesome. The light and dark mechanics is really fun. The upgrades, the armor, all that stuff. And in all honesty, this one had a lot of platforming in it, but it didn't feel as refined as part 1. This one really just nailed it. It had great platforming, it had great shooting, it had the great vehicles. I'd really hate to say just play this one, but these games do such a good job at kind of filling you in at the beginning with just enough that you need to know to play, that you can really just hop in it, and if you just want to have fun, it's a lot of fun to play. Now, even though they do a great job of letting you know what happened in the past games and stuff like that, you're still going to be a little bit confused. So I would say if you are just looking for a fun, really, really fun game to play, and you want to hop into the Jak series, I'd say maybe watch or read some Cliff Notes, watch some videos on the first two, and then hop into this one fresh. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite of the three, is part 3. Part 2, I have a love-hate relationship with part 2. Part 2 is so much fun, but it's far too difficult for its own good. Now, is it beyond completing difficult? No. Is it very aggravating difficult? Yes. This game can get so annoying with its difficulty. So annoying. But in saying that, usually once you get past those very difficult parts, you get a great cutscene, you get the story you want. Like, you're just like, oh, what's gonna happen next? I don't know, I'm just doing all this mindless stuff, and I'm getting little tidbits and stuff that doesn't matter. But as soon as you hit one of them really hard parts, man, as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna get the payoff that I want. And that happens in this one. This one is also the first one to make it to where the precursor orbs aren't your main collectible, and in the sense that in the first one, they're kind of like Wampa fruit from Crash Bandicoot. They don't give you extra life, but they're just everywhere. They're super collectible and they're everywhere. Now, yeah, there's a set limit, but I think like every area, every zone has like 300 plus. So eventually, yes, you will collect every orb, but there's so many of them that it's going to take forever, and when you start an area, they're just everywhere. But in this one, I forget the exact amount that's in it, but it's nowhere near the amount that's in the first one. Same with part 3, but I'll get to that. But the main purpose of collecting them in this one is for cheat codes, and the cheat codes in this game make it so much fun, because you can activate, I believe this one is the first one to have hero mode. That makes it even harder. You can unlock unlimited ammo. You can unlock invulnerability. You can unlock big head mode. You can unlock mirrored levels and stuff like that. Just a whole bunch of different things that make it more fun, especially after you complete it once and you know what to do, so you can kind of not really breeze through it, but you're not trying to guess at what you need to do like you would your first playthrough. This one is really fun for that. Really fun. And the reason why I have a love-hate relationship with it is because it's so much fun, but it's just so hard. And this is the one I like to go back to most, but it's always different places too, but I always get caught up on one level no matter which one it is, and I just, for some reason, on that day, I just can't complete it. I can't do it, and I just leave it alone. I turn it off. I don't play it for months. One time I went a couple of years without playing it, but it's I wish they would have dumbed down the difficulty just a little bit for this game, because if they did, even with all the extra stuff you get in this game, I do believe this would be my favorite if it was just a little bit more accessible. And it really sucks, because the first one, you can run through the first one in a couple hours on your first playthrough if you just really sit down and play it. I think the longest, if you really just give it the time it deserves, like, you get out of school, you get off work, whatever, you have a day off, you sit down, you give it a couple hours, like every day, every other day, or anytime you do sit down to play a game, this is the one you devote to where that time you have to play, you play this one. You can get through it, if not your first playthrough, 1 or 2 playthroughs. not a super hard game, and it's not a very long game, but it's a very satisfying game. I love games like that. And it just sucks so much because you'll get through this one, you'll love it, and then you go, oh man, I saw some videos for part 2. I looked at the front, and I looked at the back cover, and he's older. It looks like it's gonna be darker. There's guns in this one. Like it's Jack on steroids, and then you play it, and it's just so hard. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that can just tear through this game. I'm not one of those people, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are gonna jump into this game are not gonna be those kind of people right off the bat. And it just sucks because you get to this one and it's so much fun. You want to complete it, but I'll be the first to admit I did not complete 2 before I went to 3. I did not, and I think I've only completed 2 once. Every other time I've played it, I'm pretty sure I got pretty close, or I get halfway through the game, and that's the most I can give it. It just gets too difficult, and I get upset, and I'll move on to another game, or I'll throw in 3 or 1, to get my satisfaction from the Jack series. But yeah, and that really sucks. I have a lot of friends that played part 1 and they played part 2 and they didn't get through part 2, and it really discouraged them from going to part 3. And this is, like I said, my favorite of the series. This is the best game out of them. It took everything that was good from these 2 and just ramped it up. I mean, this is amazing. And that's why I say I have a love-hate relationship with this one, because it's so much fun. It's so good. The story's amazing. The platforming that it does have is awesome. The guns in it is awesome. Using the guns is awesome. The different things you do, the GTA style stealing the cars and stuff for the first time. It's so much fun and it's so addicting, but it's just so hard. And for people like me, it's okay. I don't know if I would say I don't mind the difficulty as much as I can look past it. But a lot of people, they just can't. And then a lot of people aren't like me. Like, as far as Jak 2 goes, one of my other friends did beat it at the time, and he filled me in on the rest of the game, and I was like, okay, I'm good. Time to move on to 3. And that's what I could do. And I was fine. I was totally fine. Some people can't do that. They have to beat part 2 before they go to part 3. And that sucks, because if they just can't muscle through 2, or they don't have the time to devote to a game like this, part 3 will just never happen for them unless they break their morals, And that really sucks. And that's why I have a love-hate relationship with the game. Everyone should play 2. No one should sit down with the thought that I will beat 2 very quickly so I can get to 3. Get some time for 2. 3's difficulty, in no way, shape, or form was it disappointing. At all. It wasn't disappointing. It was just right. But it did seem a lot simpler than 2. Now, was there parts where I got caught up and it was kind of hard? Yeah, of course. But that's just Jak. Even in part 1, you're going to get to a part or 2 where it takes you a couple of tries. And I think that's why I like 3 so much, because it called back to 1 really well. Between the story, the stuff you do in it, it was just, it handled it phenomenally. And, yeah, so that's my thoughts on the first 3 Jak games, and just to bring every convoluted mess that flowed out of my mouth into a nice, good synopsis. Part 1, amazing platforming. If you liked Crash games, this is the game you need to play. If you ever wish there was a Crash game out there that just ramped it up, open world, all that good stuff, thinking like Twinsanity kind of, this is the game that you want to play that's really going to scratch that itch. Great game to get into. Part 2, super fun. Very difficult, great story, 100% worth just muscling through it and finishing the game. Part 3 is, if the first game was the appetizer, the second was the main course, this game would have to be the world's most delicious, filling dessert in the world. Because a lot of people get full on the meal, and that's the goal. But part 2, since it's so difficult and everything, it leaves you a little hungry, because at the end of it, you might not feel that satisfaction of beating the game as much as you're just like, oh, finally, But as soon as you beat it, and you're still a little hungry, you get to 3. And you're a little hungry, but you're also like, alright, well, 1 was great, 2 did so much new stuff, 3 needs to do that too. And it does that. It does so much more. It gives you tons of vehicles to play as. It gives you upgraded guns, it gives you upgraded armor, upgraded dark abilities, the new light abilities, and the platforming challenges to get to those upgrade totems and stuff like that. It's just so good. It's great. So there you go. There's my thoughts on it. I'm going to say this now. This is the first time I've actually picked up a game, put it in front of the camera, and said this is what I think about it. And I'm going to say this now. I don't give games numbered reviews. I think those are just useless. Very useless. And they can destroy a game. There's a lot of games I've played that I was like, man, this game's so much fun. It's not the best game in the world by any means. It's a little broken, but it's so much fun that people should play. And then you see a review for it and it got like a 3. And it's not a 3 game by any means. By any means is it a 3 game. But that's what they gave it, and then people see that and they go, oh, this game sucks, I'm never going to play it. When it's worth the playthrough, it's worth the sit down. It's worth playing that game for a little bit because it's fun. So I'm not going to do that. Even though these would get high rankings. I mean, high rankings. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say it like this. First Jak and Daxter, play it. 100% it? No. I would say play it. Do you have to finish it? No, because it changes so much in part 2 that the story in part 1 really doesn't need to be included at all. The story of part 1 is useless in the grand scheme of things until you get to 3, but even if you play at least half of 1 and you get the big reveal, that's all you need for story. The rest of it is definitely just gameplay. It's there for a fun time. So play part 1. I'd recommend finishing it, but I severely recommend at least playing it. Part 2, I recommend playing it and finishing it. That is a game that you want to finish because it's so satisfying once you finally get through it and you just whooped it. That's how you feel. You're like, man, this was so hard, but I finally whooped it. It's that bully on the playground that made fun of you every day, pushed you down, hurt you, took your stuff. And then one day you finally just punched him square in the nose and he fell down and everyone knew, he wasn't nothing, That's how it feels when you beat part 2. And it's a really good feeling. Part 3 is just so much fun. It's so good. It brought so much to the table. That is a play it, that's a finish it, that's a complete it 100% because it's so much fun to search for the precursor orbs and all that stuff. Oh, it's great. It's great. But yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts on the first 3 Jak games. And please, if you don't believe me, go play these first, complete these first, so you've played them, and then go out and pick up the Jak and Daxter HD set for the PlayStation 3. Don't download it because you can't get your money back if you feel the same way I do. Go get a physical copy. Get it used. Somewhere used. I recommend GameStop. I'll look it up for you right now. I know it's not that much money. It's between $18 and $25. And with getting 3 games that are HD updated and you get some more trophies for your trophy collection, it's a pretty good deal. La 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 la. Waiting. Let's see. Jak. Oops. Jak and Daxter collection. There we go. Let's see. Oh wow. It's a little bit more than what I thought. Okay, it's $26.99. As long as you have your what you call it, your GameStop card. But that's still not that bad. $26.99 used, $29.99 regular price used. So that's still not that bad. It's definitely worth the experience to know that you don't need it. I guess I'd recommend just staying away from it. But if you just have to go play it, I recommend doing it that way, because as soon as you play it and you do see you feel the same way that I felt about it, you can take it back within 7 days and get your money back. I love that policy. I love it. But and that's a video for another time. But yeah, so that's all I have to say on the matter. Play the games. Play them. Go out and play them. Play them right now. Right now. If you played Crash and you never played these and you loved Crash, especially the first 3 original ones, and you haven't played these, shame on you. But 20 minutes, that's all the time I have for you today. That's a pretty good video. That's some good meat and potatoes for your plate. So I am the Poo Poo Dooku, coming from Poo Poo Dooku videos, and I'll see you in the next video.